Hi everybody, all my followers, be welcome to another video. Right, the video today on this 2012 Vauxhall Meriva, and this thing came to me with a few issues. We're gonna do probably separate videos for the different issues, so unless they become somehow correlated to each other. But the first issue we're going to look at is this, so let me show you one of the issues. That is, the guy initially, he dropped me this when I was not here at home, and he actually texted me saying what the problems were, and he misled me because he told me that where's the rear door. So let me show you. If I lock the car, he was telling me that this rear door was not locking. As you can see, it is locking and double locking. So if I press that should only unlocking the front twice, and that's unlocked. Okay, and it's locked. However, is the front one that doesn't lock. So he said to me it was the rear one, and is actually the front one. So that's what we're going to look at now. A couple things that I would like to say. So the detection of the door open or closed is inside the locks. The lock, as most of the cars nowadays, and I just want to quickly show you that that part is working. When I do this, you have the sign in there for the doors, and as you're gonna see, when I close the driver's door, that sign goes away. That indicates maybe a fault. I know on these Merivas that thing tends to stay on until you start to drive the car, which he actually does that. I haven't drove the car, but I had to maneuver the car here on the driveway, and as soon as I start to drive to move, a few seconds later that light will go out. But that could well be indicating a problem with this driver's door lock. So I'm not sure what the problem is. So the first thing I'm going to do is do checks. I'm not sure what checks I'm going to do, but bear with me. We're going to do a few checks. Maybe check that in there, which is a common point of failure. Not sure on these ones, but usually is a common point of failure. And then see if we might need to take these out to check the lock itself. Not sure yet how far we're going to have to go. I might plug in the Maxis just to do some actuations. Although I think it wouldn't, I don't think it's going to make a difference, because if he's not doing it when you actually press the key, I don't think it's the tool that's going to force anything different. But let's gonna just do a few checks, and who knows, maybe do a quick scan. Okay, looking at a little bit of live data, and I start to get to at least the conclusion that the body control module, so there was no codes for locks or anything like that, but the body control module, it is definitely actuating the relay for the door, as I'm going to show you when I press lock. So that's for the driver door lock relay, and what I'm going to unlock first, and you're going to see the unlock ones being active. So that one and down, all doors and rear doors. Okay, now I'm going to lock it, and you're going to try to look at the top one. Hasn't done it. Let me do it again. Sometimes the machine is, there we go, the machine is just not quick enough to there we go, you see. So sometimes the tool is not quick enough to to give me the live data, but there we go. So it's definitely tried to do something. However, when I do lock, I can hear that sort of noise inside the locks, but nothing on these locks. So this lock is definitely not making any noise whatsoever. Whether I lock or unlock, I can definitely hear all the other ones, but this door just doesn't do anything. So let's gonna start to get our hands dirty a little bit and start to do some inspections and start to see if we get anywhere. Okay, first check. Just dismantle all of these here on the door. Pull the loom to the inside of the car. Push this. Come on, don't get a little bit on the way, like that. So push this all the way back, and here is the bent. And nope, all the wires seems good to me. Can't see nothing wrong all the way up to the plug. The plug is fairly clean, so no, there's nothing wrong here. So we're gonna push this back through, but before we do that, let me get some diagrams and see if there's any checks we can do here. Maybe see if there is voltage coming when we lock the car, perhaps, before we get to the door. So let's gonna try to do that first. Okay, and unfortunately, because where I put it? Because this is not plugged into the door, the body control module cannot see the door is closed, and therefore it prevents the car from locking. So I'm gonna be able, so on here, pins 7, 8 and 9, so 1, 2, 3, the third row, the first 3 pins from the bottom, because the plug is like this, obviously careful how you are doing it, but the middle pin from the 3 pins, so 7, 8 and 9, sorry, 7, 8 and 9 pins. 8 is the common pin to both motors inside the lock, and then if I do these here, if I measure the voltage here, I don't know if you can see the, yes you can see the test light. So if I press unlock, I'm not touching this right, there we go. Okay, this is for one of the motors. If I go to the other motor, which is pin 7, there we go. Hope you can see on video. So now when I press lock, it should also come on, but because obviously when I press the lock button, the car prevents from locking, it doesn't send any power to the door locks. It could still be something wrong with the relay for the locking side. That is not sending voltage here. I'm going to try to put these back on and try to see if I can back probe these wires and see if we can measure it that way, just to ensure that we get voltage getting to this plug before we dismantle the door. So hopefully this way you can see the test light, and you can see that I'm back probing these wires here. So I'm going to push, I need to push a little bit, otherwise it doesn't make contact, but as I'm going to show you when I press now, what I'm going to show you, the lock button. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to test the other motor. There's 2 motors. So is that wire there? I can get this right so I don't mess up. Hold on a second. The next one I think is this green one. I think it is. Now is the one after. Oh come on. Is it now slowly? I think. Sorry guys, I don't wanna. It's an absolutely joke. Is it like so? There we go. So I'm now back probing the other wire, and as you have seen, we have voltage coming in on everything. So at this moment guys, I'm gonna strongly start to believe that my problem is going to be either inside the door or the lock itself. Okay, to remove the door panel, you lift this little cap here and you have a bolt in there or a screw. Then you take the symbol where the buttons are, just lift it here, then you pull it out, and then you have 1, 2, 3 screws, and then it literally clips all the way around. And now I'm going to remove the speaker to be able to inspect the loom here as it comes out here, make sure everything's okay. And then if everything's okay, we might get to there, try to take the lock out. Okay, I'm not going to take you through the whole shebang on now. So first of all, the speaker, got my hand inside, everything looked okay, so got the lock out. So you might figure it out, but you have 1, 2, 3, 4 screws you need to take off. Then you have a Phillips, a Torx in there. I don't think I had to take that off because that's to remove actually barrel, but I don't think I did have to get that far. Then you have this thing here. You just so this is closed like that. You just pull this open, and that unlocks this thread here. And then you to remove it back there, you just twist the entire lock and everything comes off. I removed the cable for the unlocking on the inside to open the door, and there is actually some noise going on here, but they are so faint. Let me show you. Right, have you seen that? Can you see that kind of movie? See there? You see? You see? But nothing really moves, so I'm gonna have to open this lock and try to figure out what's wrong with it. Okay, and we are starting to get in somewhere. So what I've done is I've opened the lock. I've tried to open the lock. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to open this without breaking it. So I got these screws out and open these tabs here. There's one on each side, and I managed to. And then I bent these sort of tabs here as well a little bit, so I could kind of flip this cover open. And then I put loads of grease inside, as you can probably see. Loads of grease, loads of this, also this spray grease. This is really good, guys. And this is not publicity at all. This is from this brand, but you can buy any other brand. This spray grease is like, when you spray it, it comes out pretty much liquid, like WD-40. And then once the solvent evaporates, it becomes like sort of this, as you can see in there, like it becomes grease literally, so it stays on the parts rather than just running off. Really good. So I spray a mixed of both, and I have this here. The latch is locked, as if the car is locked, so for all intents and purposes the car is the door is closed, if you will. And as you're going to see, it opens fine. Double lock, so unlocking. So that's locked, unlocked, sorry, and now locked. Now if I press it twice, it double locks. So that's the double lock. So it locks on the inside as well, so you can't open from the inside. Now it's fully unlocked, double locked. That's it. So I'm going to show you. So now is, what have I done now? Now this is locked, this is unlocked. So it should, it's not going to open because this thing was there, sorry. This was beating there, it was touching the door, so it was not doing what I was supposed to be doing. Let me put it like so we can actually see everything. That's locked, locked, unlocked. So now I was just watching because that little lever there was not moving enough, and I was wondering why. It was because these was touching the thing in there and was not allowing it to move. There we go. So when I press one time locking, only this first one runs, the first motor. Then if I press it twice, it double locks. Okay, and when you unlock, it just unlocks everything at once. Okay, so there we go. So also I spoke with the owner, and I will show you actually very quickly. So I explained the owner that this my works for a long time, my doesn't work. I'm not sure, so I didn't give any sort of, I don't usually do anyway, but I didn't give any warranty or any promise that this is 100% fixed. What I said to him is, ideally you would replace this lock, and obviously the locks on eBay, you can get them for about used for about £25, which you are risk to have the same problem. Brand new aftermarkets, they cost about 60 quid, 70 quid, somewhere around there. And then brand new from Vauxhall, they cost £137 plus VAT, the front ones, and the rear ones £239 plus VAT. The reason why I've asked the price for the rear ones is because I spoke with him over the phone to know exactly what was wrong with this. Because initially it's something that I didn't explain, I didn't mention that, but before I start to record the video, it dropped me a text message, which I might just put it here so you guys can see. And he was saying that was the rear door, rear driver side door, and the rear driver side door was locking absolutely perfect. So I sent him a video showing me exactly that. I said, look, this is locking fine. What I found is the front one, and he was a little bit confused, but he then explains me as well that when you're driving, the car keeps beeping as if there's something wrong with the doors, which we all know about these Merivas, about the rear door locks, they tend to fail. So I've just asked for the price for the rear ones, just in case if you're going to need one. But at the moment, I'm thinking that maybe the problem is actually was the front lock. There was no locking, and was causing that fault. Although I can't see anywhere in there any feedback from that lock to show when the car is actually locked. Is only when the door is open or closed, so I'm not really 100% sure yet what the problem is. So what I want to do now is put everything back on. As you've seen, it's locking okay, because it looks like it's going to rain. So put it all back on, and then he reckons is when he's driving that he keeps beeping. I guess it's going to be for the doors, I'm not sure. So what we're going to do is put everything back on, and then I'll have to move the exhaust that's behind, and then we're going to go for a quick drive and see if we have that beeping, and then we can have a look at the next problem, which I don't know yet if it's going to make into a video, but we'll see that later. So for now, guys, all I'm going to do is putting everything back on. And for you guys that are going to be, because I have a BMW video where apparently it's very difficult to understand when you lock one of these things, when you lubricate a lock, how you do it. So this is how I've done it, guys. On this case, you can actually do it through this opening. But yeah, ideally you take these three screws here, you lift these, and then that access all the gears, and you can put all the grease you want inside. Okay, and the lock is more or less in place. Still need to put these bolts in place, but beautiful. There we go. So now let's kind of quick put all the bolts back in, blah blah blah, including that, and then hopefully wrap up this video. Okay, so this is fixed, the front driver side. Okay, so it's locking absolutely perfect. However, I found another issue. So when I lock this, the car is locked, everything is locked, and I think now it makes sense what the guy was saying about the beeping as it drives. So the car is fully locked, but now, so when I open the car, it only opens the driver's side, and when you press the second time, it opens the rest of the car. So let me show you. So the car is locked in again, so as you can see. So if I press 1, he opens that side, and if I open the door, I think he unlocks the entire car, but this side is still locked. I press the second time, this side is open, and let me show you, this side is open, but there's always a but. This side doesn't unlock. It doesn't matter how many times I press it to lock. So something wrong with this door. So let's gonna try. Let's see if he opens from the inside. If he opens from the inside, hold on, because I think it was just. No, he doesn't, and this is the problem. If he doesn't open, oh, he opened now. Okay. Okay. So now this door doesn't lock. It was locked and now it doesn't lock. Okay. Looks like there's something on this door as well. So I think all I'm going to do now is try to get to this lock maybe. Let me see if I can lubricate this thing without having to take it off. That would be a win-win. Let me see what I can do. Okay, I was here trying to do it by put the straw in different directions, etc. It's not really cut it, so it's not really doing it. So and I'll feel more confident if I take the lock out. So same principle as for the front. Cover there, screw, take the electric window switch, take this cover here at the front from the handle, one screw there, and then 3 screws for the lock or bolts. And I'm guessing the panel is going to be all clips, so no rocket science. So let's gonna do it, take the lock and go from there. Okay, so after a little bit of battling with this, I think I got it done. So same principle, got the 3 screws out, cracked open this here, and filled the grease, activated everything manually back and forward, so then with the key until everything started to move freely, which it is now. So I'm just going to show you that everything is working. So the latch is locked as if the door is closed, and at the moment is double locked, as you can see here by this little yellow part. If you remember, when you moved away from this end that way, it means it's double locked. So if I pull the inside latch to open the, as you can see, the lever, it doesn't open the car. Okay, now I'm going to unlock only once, which means it's just going to remove the double lock. There we go, you've seen there. So if I lock it again, there we go, you see? So to remove the double lock. Okay, so at the moment the car would open on this latch, but it's still not opening on the outside. So on that one, it still doesn't unlock, okay? And now if I do press and lock again, this one here is going to move. You're going to see these moving, and that unlocks the, there we go, and that now is unlocked. So we'll open either inside or outside. And now I'm going to lock it again. One, it only locks the car, still opening on the inside. If I press double lock, it locks the inside. So it is working. Let's going to put everything back on the car, quickly test it, because I'm not just running out of daylight, but I think it's going to start to rain very, very shortly. So let's going to put all this, give a quick clean here, put everything back on, and give it a good test. Okay, and before I put everything back on, it's time to give it a good test. So close the car. So let's gonna lock it. It's locked. So if I press it once, obviously it only doubles unlock, so to unlock on the inside, twice. There we go. It's locked. Unlocked. Locked. Unlocked. So this is fixed. Now we're going to put it all back on and wrap up this. I'm going to go for a drive to see what the guy was meant about this beeping while driving. These locks on the Merivas, they are very temperamental. They are a well-known point of failure. Hopefully we fixed it without needing any parts. So I'm going to go for a drive after this, and I might just put here what the result is. But I think it's fixed, and yeah guys, I really hope that you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something, who knows. The other locks, I sprayed a little bit of that grease on this lock and on the other side of the rear door, which was the ones that were still working fine, just as a preventive. But I think it's fixed, guys. So as I was saying, with no further ado guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. Hope this helped you to fix your car if you have this problem. The locks are not cheap, as I've showed you, so it always worth a little bit of time spent like this. But yeah, so yeah, as I was saying, hope you enjoyed the video, hope you learned something. If you do still have any questions, any comments, guys, you know exactly how it works. Just put them below, and like always, thanks for watching. Okay, and here I am again. I hope you lasted this long. because what I'm going to show you now is a little bit of a setback, but I decided to cover it. I could leave the video there, but I decided that would be very unfaithful, and I thought I would have to cover this bit as well, because things not always go as you planned, and as you can see from the thumbnail, I had to do a little bit of editing on the thumbnail to be truthful to the video, I think is how you say it. Anyway, so 5 days later, wrong, 6 days later, I've been working in the meantime, night shifts, but also I've been waiting for parts to resolve the next issue on this car, on the Meriva. And if the video has been released, I will leave a link in the description below, and if you haven't seen it yet, you will see very shortly. So I had to wait for parts for it, and while I was waiting for parts for this Meriva, I've started to work on the Astra J, which is just there, okay, which is, as you'll see on the video, another mess. But anyway, and what I decided to do over these few days while I was at home was I was coming to the car a few times a day just to test the locks, and I would lock and unlock the car just to make sure everything is working. Front driver side, so the front door, done and dusted, worked perfectly every single time, had no issues. The rear door though, randomly I would lock the car, sorry, I would come to the car, unlock the car, and this door would not unlock. And then what I had to do is I had to press the button to lock the car again, unlock. Obviously to unlock from the outside you need to press the remote twice to disengage all the rest of the doors, because when you just press once, it only unlocks the driver's side. Anyway, so I would unlock the car, all the doors would unlock except this door. Then I would unlock again, and this door would then unlock. Okay, the locking exactly the same, randomly would lock. Okay, sometimes I would lock the car, come here, and the door was still open. Then I would unlock, lock it again, and the door would lock, and was doing this randomly. Sometimes I would come here, would do it, I don't know, 10 times in a row, lock and unlock, would work every single time. Sometime later I would come, bang, wouldn't do it right. I would have to press a couple times until it until the lock would lock or unlock, depending on the situation. Also when driving, which is the next video I'm going to wrap up, is the last part for the next problem, because when I went for a drive to test the car, the door locks every now and then would activate, obviously when you stop the doors unlock and all that good stuff, and it would throw the warning on the dash and would start beeping, and then I would have to press the lock button inside the car, lock or unlock, a couple times until the door lock would do whatever, would lock properly, and then the warning light would go off. That was annoying, and I didn't want to wrap up the other video like that, so I'm going to do it next after this. But this to say what? To say that on the rear, I could try to have another go with this. If this was my car, to be honest, it wouldn't bother me too much having to lock again and unlock, or when I start to drive having to press the button inside a couple times to make the warning go off. It wouldn't bother me too much. It was no ideal, definitely, but this not being my car, obviously I don't want to send the car like this. The car came here to be repaired. I don't want to send the car half repaired. Yeah, that makes sense. So what I've decided to do, spoke to the owner and decided to get another lock, which is what I'm doing now. I just need to put the door card back in. That's the old lock full of grease, and that's it pretty much. So it's going to get a new lock. This is not a brand new genuine lock, it's a brand new aftermarket lock, but that's what we're told to do. But this is purely just to cover that sometimes you can only try. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. In this case, it didn't really work, and that's it. So now, yes, I'm gonna finish assembling the car and then record the last clip for the next video. And that's it, guys. Unfortunately, in this case, it didn't work for the rear door. It worked for the front door. Again, as I said, the front door is fine, but this rear door, the lock was a little bit more stubborn, and we had to replace it. So just to make sure we don't get any comeback. So that's it, guys. So now, yes, thank you for lasting these extra 5 minutes, and see you all on the next video.